What's up, guys? Welcome back to another banger, and make sure to like, subscribe, comment, follow. Don't worry, guys, I'm not actually that cringe. But anyways, in today's video, I almost missed the train, a railroad crossing sign, and this train forgets its cars. Alright, lads, today we're going to start with Cafe Lafayette Dinner Train crossing Route 175 in Woodstock, New Hampshire. Believe it or not, I actually almost missed this train. Like, I'm not kidding. As I was pulling up to the crossing, this train was coming around the curve, and I didn't even have time to set up my tripod, so that's why here's a phone shot from the car. But this time, we would have enough time, and I did get to set up my tripod here. This is just a little bit farther down 175 to this opening in between a golf course and trees. Alright, now it's the next day, and we're here just after doing our tour on the Lincoln rail bikes. And you can actually see them in the foreground of the shot, but this is the shot of the locomotive going back to the area for the Cafe Lafayette Dinner Train, because they parked the locomotive across the street. And I did get a really nice shot of this thing going in front of this high hood. I think it's a GP9. Don't put the comments if I'm wrong. But yeah, this shot was taken in Lincoln, New Hampshire at the Granite State Scenic Railway station in Lincoln. And this was literally the only piece of footage I had for that day, so we're just going to move right to the next day where we're in North Conway. And the first train I see, literally as we're pulling up to the station, is the Valley train being led by this just beautiful Boston and Maine painted high hood. I have no idea what the exact model for this is, but I would love to know in the comments. Now, about 10 minutes later is the Mountaineer coming in from Crawford Notch, and while I was filming the shot, I was quite literally being attacked by bees. So I am sorry if the shot was a little shaky. Next clip is me filming the train coupling back up to the other end from inside the station, because I was in there because that was as close as I could get to the action. But yeah, this is a pretty bad clip. Next we see the Mountaineer again heading back to Crawford Notch, filmed from the other side of the station this time, leading Long Hood forward. Next here is one of my favorite shots of the day. This was 252 coupling up to the other GP40, I think. I'm really not sure. But yeah, this was definitely one of my favorite shots of the day. Next here, we're back on the other side of the station again to see the return trip for the Valley train back into North Conway, about 50 minutes later. Next, we took a short trip across the tracks where we saw a small switcher as well as two F units, two beautiful F units parked right there. And the last thing we saw before leaving North Conway was 573, which is the locomotive in my profile picture. They were running it last year when I went there. But yeah, this was the last thing we saw in North Conway. About 2.5 hours later, we are up on Bear Notch Road in Bartlett to once again see the return trip for the Crawford Notch train. And that would conclude our trip to North Conway. The next day, we're back in Lincoln for a surprise train. We managed to catch the SW1000 heading back to the dinner train. Then here it is again, about a quarter of a mile down the tracks. And that was all the footage I had for that day. And now we're here the next day in Lincoln, just across the street in the visitor center parking lot, to see the locomotive once again head back for the dinner train. Then we raced up to Route 175 for another shot of it coming around the bend here in Woodstock, this time with its full dinner train consist. We then scurried over to Route 3 to the 93 underpass, where we only waited about 45 seconds for the train to round the curve. And that would conclude the chase for that day. The next day, my mom was on her way back to the hotel when she saw the SW1000 cross the highway again for the dinner train. So shout out to my mom for getting me this amazing clip of the engine crossing the road. Now we're here once again on Route 175, just past the crossing, to see the dinner train cross the road on its way back to Lincoln with this cab car-ish thingy leading, but it still had a nice horn. And this shot would conclude our films for the day. The next day, we're here back in Lincoln, back at the visitor center parking lot. But now we're here to see the engine returning from the dinner train this time. So this creates a really unique shot where you can actually see the long hood leading forward, which this is the only scenario where you can see this here. And this would conclude our trip to New Hampshire. Thank you guys all for watching.